Class 11th, subject physics, 7th chapter, thermal properties of matter. Thermal properties of matter, that is, the properties of the matter related with thermal energy or heat energy. Now, from the chapter, let us see first the introduction of this chapter. We know that when heat energy is supplied to any solid, it expands. Now the expansion of the solid will be due to the increase in intermolecular distances between the molecules of that substance. Similarly, we know that as the motion of any object is described by three fundamental physical quantities, the motion of any object is described by three fundamental physical quantities like length, mass, and time. The fourth fundamental physical quantity, called as temperature, is required to explain the properties of objects related to heat. That is, the properties of the objects which are related with heat can be explained with the help of the physical quantity called as temperature. Hence, the degree of hotness or coldness of any object as compared with its surrounding is called its temperature. The degree of hotness or coldness of any object as compared with its surrounding is called its temperature. The higher the temperature, the hotter is that object. That means if the temperature of that body is high, then that object will be hot. And therefore, now let us see two different terms related with these thermal properties of matter, that is temperature and heat. Temperature and heat. So we know that when heat energy is supplied to the solids, there will be increase in the intermolecular distances, and hence the heat energy supplied to the substance increases the kinetic energy of the molecules or the atoms of the substance. The heat energy supplied to any substance increases the kinetic energy of the molecules or atoms of the substance. The average kinetic energy per particle, the average kinetic energy per particle of a substance will define the temperature. The form of energy which is transferred between two or more systems or between a system and its surrounding by virtue of their temperature is called as the heat. The form of energy which is transferred between two or more systems or between a system and its surrounding by virtue of their temperature difference is called as heat. So in this way, this temperature and heat will be defined. Now the SI unit of heat is joule. SI unit of heat is joule, denoted by J, and CGS unit of heat is erg. Similarly, the SI unit of temperature is Kelvin or Celsius, that is degree Celsius. So temperature will be measured in terms of Kelvin or Celsius, while heat will be measured in terms of joule or erg. And therefore, joule and erg are related as 1 joule equal to 10 raised to 7 erg. 1 joule equal to 10 raised to 7 erg. Similarly, joule and calorie are related by the relation 1 calorie equal to 4.184 joule. 1 calorie equal to 4.184 joule. So this will be the relation between joule and erg as well as calorie and erg. Now if you consider the dimensions of temperature and heat, then the dimensions of heat will be similar to that of dimensions of energy, because heat is nothing but one of the forms of energy and therefore its dimensions are same as that of energy, that is 2 in length, 1 in mass, minus 2 in time, and 0 in Kelvin. 2 in length, 1 in mass, minus 2 in time, and 0 in Kelvin. Similarly, the dimensions of temperature will be 0 in length, 0 in mass, 0 in time, 1 in Kelvin. 0 in length, 0 in mass, 0 in time, and 1 in Kelvin. So these are the dimensions of temperature and heat. And now let us see the next point, that is measurement of temperature. Measurement of temperature. So an ideal wall separating two systems is one that which does not allow the heat energy to flow or to exchange between the two bodies or two systems. So such type of the perfect thermal insulator is called as athermic wall. Athermic wall. So athermic wall is nothing but an ideal wall separating two systems is that which does not allow any flow or exchange of heat energy from one system to another system. So if two systems are in contact with each other, and if they are separated by a separation or partition or a wall such that there is no exchange of heat between these two systems, at that time such a perfect thermal insulator is called as athermic wall. For example, wood, plastic, glass, wool, etc. will act as the athermic wall, that is these separation or partitions will not allow the flow of heat energy or exchange of heat energy between the two systems. On the other hand, the wall separating the two systems which allows the flow or exchange of heat from one system to another system, such type of wall is called as the diathermic wall. So diathermic wall is the separation or the partition between the two systems which will allow the flow or exchange of heat energy between the two systems, and therefore the diathermic walls, the examples of it will be copper, silver, aluminum, etc. So these materials will allow the flow of heat energy or exchange of heat energy between the two systems. Now, during heating of water, when water is heated, at that time it is observed that there will be increase in its temperature, and therefore here we will have to define two different temperatures when water is heated. And therefore first one will be the temperature of the pure water. The temperature of pure water at which it freezes. The temperature of the water at which pure water will freeze. That means it will get converted from liquid to solid state. At that time, that temperature will be called as, that temperature at which pure water will freeze at one standard atmospheric pressure, it is called as the ice point or freezing point of water. So for a pure water, when it freezes at one standard atmospheric pressure, that point is called as ice point or freezing point of water. This is also called as the melting point of ice. The melting point of ice. Second one, the temperature at which pure water boils and vaporizes into steam at one standard atmospheric pressure is called as steam point or boiling point. The temperature at which the pure water boils and vaporizes into steam at one standard atmospheric pressure is called as steam point or boiling point of water. Now, there are different scales of measurement of temperature, and therefore there are three scales of measurement of temperature. So temperature will be measured by three scales, and these are: first one, that is Celsius scale, second is Fahrenheit scale, third is Kelvin scale. So Celsius scale, Fahrenheit scale and Kelvin scale. Let us see first, that is Celsius scale. So on this scale, the ice point is marked as 0. The ice point of water will be marked as 0 and the steam point is marked as 100. Both taken at normal atmospheric pressure. So ice point is marked as 0 and steam point, that is boiling point, is marked as 100 on this Celsius scale, and both are taken at normal atmospheric pressure. Now the interval between these points, that is from 0 to 100, is divided into 100 equal parts. Each part is known as 1 degree Celsius and is written as 1 degree Celsius, that is degree Celsius. So in this way, in case of Celsius scale, ice point is 0, steam point or boiling point is 100, and between 0 to 100 it is divided into equal 100 parts, and each one small part is called as 1 degree Celsius. Now let us consider second, that is Fahrenheit scale. On this scale, the ice point is marked as 32. Ice point is marked as 32 and the steam point is marked as 212. Steam point is marked as 212 and both are taken at normal atmospheric pressure. So in this way, in case of Fahrenheit scale, the ice point is taken as 32 and boiling point or the steam point is taken as 212. Then the interval between these points is divided into 180 equal parts. So 180 equal parts will be there between 32 and 212. Each part will be called as degree Fahrenheit. It will be called as degree Fahrenheit and it will be written as degree Fahrenheit. Degree Fahrenheit. So this will be regarding the second scale of measurement of temperature, that is Fahrenheit scale. Then third one is the Kelvin scale. So on this scale, the ice point is marked as 273.15, 273.15 and steam point is marked as 373.15, 373.15. Both will be taken at normal atmospheric pressure. Both will be taken at normal atmospheric pressure. That is, in case of Kelvin scale, the ice point is at 273.15 while the boiling point or steam point is at 333.15. Then the interval between these points is again divided into 100 equal parts and each part is called as Kelvin. Each part will be called as 1 Kelvin and it will be written as K. So in this way, there are three different scales for the measurement of temperature, that is Celsius scale, Fahrenheit scale and Kelvin scale. Now these three scales are related with each other and therefore the relation between these three scales is given as Tc upon 100, that is temperature in Celsius scale upon 100 is equal to Tf minus 32, that is temperature in Fahrenheit, Tf minus 32 upon 180, that will be equal to Tk, that is temperature in Kelvin, minus 273.15 upon 100. So in this way, Celsius scale, Fahrenheit scale and Kelvin scale are related by the relation Tc upon 100 equal to Tf minus 32 upon 180 equal to Tk minus 273.15 upon 100. So this will be regarding the scales of measurement of temperature.